Hi, I'm Michelle and I'm a mum of two from Essex, and my youngest son has ARFID. If you didn't know already, ARFID stands for Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder and was added to the DSM-5 criteria back in 2013. It is not related to body image or weight. ARFID currently has three subtypes. Avoidant, the sensory aspect of food, the smell, the taste, the texture, the look, the colour, even branding. Aversive, the fear of vomiting, choking or being sick. And restrictive, having little to no interest in food. And throughout my son's journey, we've experienced all three. He started off with the sensory sensitivities of food. He didn't like anything with lumps, bumps, strong smells, was very hesitant to touch food if it was wet, lumpy or slimy. And as time went on, it became incredibly difficult to introduce new foods. He was becoming more and more restrictive and was only around having 10 to 15 different foods, which was either biscuits, crisps, anything that was easy to melt in his mouth and that would swallow easily. At my son's 2-year health check, his sensory issues and eating difficulties meant he was referred to a paediatrician and a dietitian for investigations. Due to the long wait to see local services, our GP agreed to run bloods, which showed he was extremely low on iron levels, meaning we had the impossible task of administering medication to a child who had a fear of taste. We saw a dietitian quite quickly who started to discuss the usual fussy eating, but in my heart I knew this was something more. We followed their picky eating guidance, and at the next appointment we discussed that nothing was working and how it had become something so much deeper. The dietitian mentioned ARFID, but due to my son's age, he was very young, and there is no help for children under the age of 8. Not long after speaking with the dietitian, my son's food drastically reduced. December 22, he caught tonsillitis. He blamed the wafer that he ate for the throat pain, which triggered the fear response to swallowing. And for around 18 months, he ate nothing but milk and one brand of strawberry yoghurt. I'm not kidding when I went to Tesco's and I was that person stockpiling all this food in my trolley, because that's all he would eat. The worry and the fear that that brand would stop selling that yoghurt caused my anxiety to go through the roof, because unfortunately it was one brand, one flavour, one yoghurt, and that was it. During this period of time we moved house, which meant we was discharged from care due to our postcode, albeit we was 1 mile away from this area, putting us back to the bottom of the huge pile, and I had a fight on my hands. After a lot of back and forth between local services and a huge strain on my mental health, we are finally back under the care of a paediatrician and a dietitian, but unfortunately, no one knows what ARFID is. Whilst going through all this extremely stressful time, we made the decision as a family to have him privately diagnosed with ARFID. So fast forward to now, my son is 5. Earlier in July, my son was admitted to hospital with fecal impaction due to the lack of variety in his diet. But as the day went on, he deteriorated fast and it turned out to be his appendix. He was used off to emergency surgery. During recovery, he became extremely poorly fast and was nil by mouth for 3 days. And our worst nightmare, fast became a reality. The stress and the trauma caused him to lose interest in yogurts, and now he no longer eats. We are down to a liquid-only diet of whole milk and Pediasure shakes. And as you can imagine, even standing here today in front of you all, my mind is constantly thinking if he's okay. And is he drinking while he's at school? Living with ARFID is tough in so many different reasons. It affects everyone and everything around you. It's not fussy eating. Fussy eaters will eat when they're hungry. They may try something new because it's a different brand, the packaging changes, they will eat that. My son would rather starve himself, and it is no fault of his own. We can't decide last minute to go out for dinner because the smells of cooking, the unusual environment, someone sitting next to him eating something that just doesn't look nice, it just causes too much stress and anxiety. This year we had planned to go on a family cruise. We even had to cancel it because unfortunately the company wouldn't let us take his food on board. He would have potentially starved for the whole holiday. We can't go to birthday parties. Days out are really hard, especially now he's only drinking milk. You know, I end up with a backpack full of flasks, cool bags, you know, sometimes it's just not worth it. I wish there was a magic wand so myself and other families, including 2 that are here today, and other families around the UK could access support that they deserve. But until the research, training, NICE guidelines and pathways are put in place, families like myself are being left with nowhere to turn. And I'm hearing too often children are receiving anorexia treatment or damaging hospital admissions due to the lack of understanding of ARFID. So I ask, if anyone here today faces a family living with ARFID, help us break the mould of it just being fussy eating. The best knowledge you will gain is from the parents and carers in front of you, and the more we all work together, the more hopeful their future will be.